Hello, and today we'll be playing Violent Memoir. We're going to continue with Oscar's route. Arriving back at my apartment is more than a breath of fresh air. I didn't expect this day to be so hectic, but everyone really wanted to try and make sure I was alright after everything that happened. I can't say I don't appreciate their efforts though. Everyone was so kind and even respectful to Oscar. Lee's been shockingly tolerable to his antics, and Lucas has been growing more comfortable around everyone. They all seem genuinely excited to hang out together, even if the idea of all of us going to the bar wasn't exactly exciting for most of our group, but they accepted the idea. But it was hard to focus on the conversation while I wanted to get back and check the diary as soon as possible. I know that page we found wasn't in the diary, but I just had to check it. Most of the others headed off the bar early to keep Oscar company, but Lucas decided to tag along. The diary isn't hard to find, sitting in plain view of the nightstand next to the bed. I don't remember bringing it home last night, but it must have been on autopilot. Lucas, on the other hand, is more concerned about my room than anything else. He's even lost that worried look he's been trying to hide all day. Why is your room so mean? Your room barely has enough room to walk around, and you don't have a bathroom or anything. Where do you shower? The said one down the hall. You say a shower? The sputtering forces a laugh out my stomach, and while his pouting only grows stronger, there's a sense of relief in his accents. Are you guys really worried about me that much? It was scary. We've been having a lot of these nightmares, and you freaked out on Wednesday. We're just lucky that Oscar been around. Did you just give Oscar a compliment? We might not like each other, but he's not a bad person, and he makes you smile. I've never been good at that. Oscar likes you a lot. He likes Lee a lot too. Oscar just seems to want to have friends. Severin said he actually doesn't have a lot. Really? The doubt in his voice is palpable, but after seeing the way Oscar interacts with everyone, it's clear he puts up more of a wall around others. Yeah, he usually is just on friendly terms with people, but his only friend is Selwyn. That line we're going to meet, right? Lee said he was a good guy. He's great, you'll love him. Now let's hurry up so we can get out of here. Why are we even here in the first place? I wanted to investigate the diary a bit more. Wallace, I don't know. Lee's been saying that it hasn't been healthy for you. I'm not going to read it, I swear. I'm just wanting to check something. Check what? Oscar and I were in the hospital. I came around a missing page. I wanted to check if it was still missing. Why would it be there? I don't know. I just need to check. Alright. Lucas didn't count convinced, but it didn't seem like he was going to object. Opted to just follow me and sit on the edge of the bed. I situated the diary between us as I flipped through the pages trying to figure out where we were last. It didn't take too long for us to come across a myriad of missing pages. It really looks like they become more prominent the further into the diary you get. Helena must have really not wanted people to read them. But why pull only half of an entry out then? It didn't even have anything particularly bad. It was just describing their date. Here it is. I find the second half of the missing page, and to be my relief, the page is still missing. I don't know what I was expecting, but I'm glad it's still gone. I don't know what I would have done if it magically appeared. That confirms it. It was just a dream. Maybe talk to Lily. She saw that missing entry, right? I can't remember after everything that happened. Was that it? Yeah, it's still missing. Obviously. Can we go now? Yeah, let me just... I'm about to close the diary when I turn to the next page and something falls onto the floor between us. Suddenly I feel a sense of dread crawl up my spine. Lucas looks unimpressed as he picks up the folded piece of paper to hand it back to me, confused at my apprehension. Are you okay? Sorry, yeah. I take the paper and consider putting it back between the pages before my morbid curiosity finally wins out, tempting me to open it. It's exactly what I'd been afraid of. The missing page, the edges are even frayed, showing where it had been torn off. My face must have been something because that concerned glare Lucas has been wearing all afternoon returns with ferocity. Is that the missing page? Yeah, why is it here? It was just on the next page. Maybe you read before the nightmare happened and just thought you saw it for the first time in your dream. You think that really happened? Let's remember sleeping or passing out. It's reasonable to assume that our memories of right before the passing out is unreliable. That doesn't frighten you? Of course it does, but I'm not going to let it dictate my life. I might not agree with Austin on much, but I know he's right on this. Better to just move on. We have better things to do. He gets up off the bed, clearly unwilling to continue this conversation. Regardless, there's not much here left for me to do. I don't know if I'm ready to get back to reading yet, not after everything that happened. I follow after Lucas, excited to have us all together again, even if it's only been a day. The bar that Oscar had recommended we go to was hardly a bar at all. It was on campus and looked to be marketed to exclusively students. Lucas and I arrived after barely a short walk from our apartment, finding students walking in and around the campus courtyard. I shouldn't be surprised that there'd be this many people on Friday night, but there's even more than I expected. We have a bar on campus? You bet we do. A loud booming voice appears from behind us, and even though it's obvious who it belongs to, it still causes the two of us to jump. What are you doing? I saw you guys heading over, so I thought I'd meet you guys over here. So he decided to give us a fight. It's not my fault you guys didn't see me. I mean, you both were all lost in your heads, man. Oh, sorry, I just had things to do. I just had things to think about. Everything okay? I thought things were getting better. It is. It's just my gaze hovers over to Lucas, who looks to be actively avoiding this conversation. It's clear that he doesn't want to talk about that anymore. Austin picks up on it too and leads us on. Hey man, it's okay, don't stress. Let's just enjoy a night. Let's just enjoy a night out. It's Friday. Do we really have to go in there? Nah, I stand as one of the tables out front. Winter ain't here yet, and it's pretty quiet. Oh, well, thank you. Anytime, Grumpy. He gives a huff at the nickname but protests. Also looks to be boring right through his walls. He's truly a master at getting people to open up. With a bombastic tour guide voice, he guides us to a little group sitting under an umbrella near the front of the bar. There's plenty of other tables out here as well, but only a couple are full, leaving us plenty of room to ourselves. Lucas looked more than a little pleased at that, which causes Oscar to beam and throw me a large smile, taking the time to wrap her arm around my shoulder. He truly does want what's best for everyone. I'm glad the others are coming around to seeing that. Lee, Lily, and Selwyn are all sitting around a single table with 3 open seats waiting for us. Compared to the other 2 who are looking excited to see us, Selwyn is looking more than a little nervous as his eyes keep darting to and from Lucas. We're all sitting next to them, also taking the next one to Selwyn, giving him a gentle nudge of encouragement that brings a smile to the lion's face. Are you doing okay, Wallace? You're looking a little pale. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Just needed to check stuff out. You sure, kid? Completely sure. Let's just enjoy our time. Alright, the others have already been introduced, but Selwyn, this is Lucas. He might look a bit jumpy, might look a bit grumpy, and you know. We all sit next to them, also taking the next one to Selwyn, giving him a gentle nudge of encouragement that brings a smile to the lion's face. Are you doing okay, Wallace? You're looking a little pale. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Just needed to check stuff out. You still, kid? Completely sure. Let's just enjoy our time. Alright, the others have already been introduced, but Selwyn. This is Lucas. You might look a bit grumpy and bitey, but trust me, he's harmless and very cute. I'm not cute. I don't know. I think you can be adorable sometimes. That just leaves Lucas gaping, but it's enough to shatter the tension between the two of them, with Selwyn giggling while Lucas tries to bashfully hide his ears. Selwyn has selective mutism, so he won't be able to talk, but he can whisper to me anything he wants to tell you, or he can text you. So I have to go through you? Yep. Oscar beams that long smile of his that nearly causes Lucas's eyes to roll back, that nearly causes Lucas's eyes to roll into the back of his head as he grabs out his phone and tosses it to the lion. Put your number there instead. That way we don't have to worry about me head over here getting in the way. Who knows what he put down? Me heat. Me head. Selwyn looks almost soft, and to be honest, the rest of us aren't much better. Lucas used to be so body. Lucas used to be so body with us at first, but he's taking the initiative with Selwyn. He doesn't waste any time and jotted his number down into the phone before carefully passing it back, quickly whipping out his own. It's barely a couple of seconds later when a text is through and Lucas needs it. And Lucas reads it. He stifles and hides his scream, causing everyone to perk up. What was it? Nothing. Come on, man. You gotta tell us. Gimme. No. This causes the whole conversation delving into a fiesta of teasing and laughing. Even Lucas was smiling alongside everyone else. Though he never actively participated in the teasing, he spent a lot of his time texting back and forth with Selwyn, who looks more than enthused at his new friend. I could tell these two are going to get along great. The next hour was filled with chatter and everything you expect from a bunch of friends hanging out. It's surprising how fast Selwyn integrated, but that's been the case with all of us. We all slotted in with each other perfectly from the very start. Lily, Arthur, and I were sent inside to go get some more drinks for our group. Lee made sure they were all non-alcoholic, much to Arthur's far sadness. He insisted he didn't need any help getting the drinks, but I get the feeling Lily just wants to get me alone while he orders. Then, unsurprisingly, the moment Oscar goes up to the counter, Lily's pulling me to the side of the bar where things are less occupied. So, how are you two of the drinks along the way. Oscar quickly slides in to fill the slots he left, taking the time to look back at her like he's worried she's going to come back and scold him for something. "You okay? I hope that wasn't anything bad." No, it was okay. I was just getting some advice, I think." Sounds like some strange advice if you're not sure, but I know Lily would never let you down. She's too badass to be wrong. Now, come on. Everyone's waiting. Despite clutching numerous drinks, his other arm also still manages to reach over to place a hand on my shoulder, tugging me away from all my lingering doubts. It wasn't long before everyone had to turn in. It began getting dark and Lucas really didn't want to stay around much longer. He had a schedule to keep and refused to break it. Someone offered to take him home early while Lee escorted Lily home to make sure she was safe. All of us expected Lucas to complain, but he accepted with little fuss, much to the lion's excitement. This left Oscar and I to head back after he paid the bill, but not before Lee interrupted us. I expected him to give some vague threat to Oscar, but he just thanked him and asked if he could keep me company tonight again. I wanted to object, but I felt like this is just as much for Lee as it was for me. The walk back was uneventful, but I couldn't help but feel exhausted once we got to my room. I would have collapsed onto my bed if Oscar didn't drag us into taking a shower. I'm just glad there's multiple cubicles. I'm not sure I'm ready for that yet, even if I know Oscar will do it. Now the two of us are lying in bed just like the previous night, my head against Oscar's chest as he cuddles me against him. Our close proximity reminds me of the conversation with Lily, and there's a temptation to try something. I know Oscar wants it. He's made that more than clear on numerous occasions. But everything that happened with Nathan today is still in my mind. There are minutes to make some amends, but things between them were tense. I don't want that to happen between us. What's the matter, man? Am I not soft enough? His lackadaisical tone is a stark contrast to the concern in his eyes. The feeling of his claws running through the fur on my head is calming enough to be over with my worries. I'm just thinking about what happened with Nathan. About what we talked about? Yeah, you've always been so open with wanting to do stuff with me. But what happened between you two, that's really scary, Oscar. Hey man, it's fine. We made up, right? Still we got a long way to go, but it's better than before. I know it's hard to not remember how upset he looked. He's a kind person, I know he is, but you hurt him a lot, Oscar. I don't want to be hurt like that. That catches him off guard, and I can see his optimistic self he always hides behind sake a little. It's not enough to remove it, but he knows I'm being serious. Hey man, I wouldn't do that to you. I know some of the guys don't trust me, but I can promise you that. I wouldn't abandon you, but I won't push you. I know. Hey man, is this Nathan thing really bugging you that much? Oh, I mean, yeah, a little. He was really upset, but I understand. Don't worry about it. It's chill. I think I know something that might help. You'll have to find out tomorrow. You're my friend, more than anything else. My brain and heart are down there. I care about you, man. I worry too. I don't know why. Because you're kind and a good friend, but for some reason you always tear yourself down. I don't get it. You're amazing to me. But compared to you, I'm just me. You're like a literal Adonis. How am I to compete with that? Well, I can't say I dislike that implication, but I'm not as great as you want me to be. But you're like a fantasy come true. His hand stops, prompting me to look up to catch him staring out the window. There's that blank melancholy that I rarely get to see out of the water. Do you remember how I told you that people don't really ask me the things you do? You mentioned it before. Why is that? People don't look at me and want to find out more. They see a guy to have fun with. But then there's you. You're always wanting to know things people don't usually care about. I don't know why they wouldn't. You're a really interesting guy. I don't know anyone else who's on a competitive swim team. But that's not what people want from me, you know? They want a hot, dumb guy who they can fool around with and forget in the morning. That I can do. That's easy. I don't think you're dumb. That makes him laugh, and it's a beacon of brightness on this otherwise somber conversation. He pulls me tighter against his chest, and I press myself further into his warmth. I hope so. I think Coach would kick my ass and my grades dropped. Wait, how good are your grades? I have a 4.0 GPA. What? I tried to pull away so I can gawk in disbelief, but Austin must have been ready for it as he made sure to keep his hold tight. Not enough that I'd be actually trapped, but enough to cause a tussle between us that ended in the two of us laughing. What, you thought I'd be some dumb jock that didn't know how to count to 10? That's horse, man. I mean, a little? Nah, it's no problem. I'll play it up a bit, but don't worry, I'll not put it on an act or anything. This is all me. I just like to exaggerate things sometimes. I bet Lucas would get a kick out of knowing you're actually a genius. Nah, man, I'm no genius. Just big old Oscar with his head in the water. The two of us laugh until we can't anymore, and we just bask in each other's body heat. I got colder as the night went on, and I'm glad to have my own personal heating auger to help. There isn't even any awkwardness with our near barren state of undress. It's hard to be Cy when he's so casual about everything. It's part of the reason I enjoy being around him so much. I accidentally snuggle a little too close and end up accidentally nuzzling his neck. It's a lot more intimate than other of us had planned, and I thought Oscar was going to make a playful remark. Except he just looked uncomfortable, and I wasn't sure why. Hey, nothing. Just cross my dick a little. It'll be fine. Let's just get some rest. We might need it if things go right tomorrow. He gives me a wink. It's not subtle when he's hoping to achieve from his plan. There's a little part of me that's as excited too, even if I'm still unsure. It feels like a diversion for whatever had been bothering him, but I already know that Oscar isn't receptive to that kind of prodding. I'll just have to look forward to whatever he has planned for tomorrow. The Eastern Campus is still just as popular on Saturday as it had been yesterday. In fact, there might be even more people hanging out than before. This morning didn't go how I expected it. Instead of spending a comfortable morning cuddled up against Oscar, I woke up to him jumping out of bed and dancing back to his flat to shower and change. Full of energy all morning, and was more excited than I'd ever seen him so far. This is saying a lot because Oscar's probably the most energetic person I've ever met. I barely had any time to adjust before I was settled into a shower and dragged out of the apartment building. I was still groggy and out of it by the time we made it to another apartment complex where we picked up Selwyn. He was just as confused as I was, but more than happy to follow along with whatever Oscar had planned. That plan led us to get a quick breakfast at the campus cafe, though it was closer to lunch due to how late we stepped in. That led us to here at the East Campus, watching Ehuente's football team practices. Different from the one we saw on Friday, it felt more like a proper game than anything else. Everyone looked exhausted, and from what Oscar told me, there wasn't much time left in practice. Apparently, they start early in the morning and go till lunchtime doing drills in the practice game. I could see plenty of familiar faces on one of the teams. Nathan was obviously there, but so was some of the other guys I recognized as well, like the other Weasel, the canine who greeted us, and the Rottweiler who kept an eye on us. Enjoyed the show? Huh? Arthur and Selwyn were both staring at me with a similar glint in their eyes. I was grateful we were sat on benches instead of on the bleachers. They had a surprising amount of people for a practice game, so we avoided it for Selwyn's sake. Though he tried to protest that it wasn't a big deal, but Arthur just put him in a headlock and the two of them laughed it off. You're eyeing up all of the guys. Any of them catch your attention? Oh, no, it wasn't anything like that. I was just looking for the guys we met yesterday. Nathan's really good. I know I shouldn't be surprised, but I've never watched football before. Everyone's this football team is their main attraction. You might be Division A for swimming, but people aren't as interested in that. It's football. You get all the fame and all the girls. Or guys. It's strange how Conrad acted then, right? What do you mean? Someone perked up at my comment as well. We haven't really filled him in on what we're doing, so I'll need to explain that to him at some point. Maybe he can give some insight into anything we're overlooking. Well, if everybody on the football team is so popular, especially if you're on the main team, but Conrad sounded like a loner. He only had Nathan as a friend, and people were more interested in Quinn than him. He's just like this privacy, you know? Some guys aren't into all the stars and glitter. You mentioned he used to go to your gym instead, right? Why would he do that when there's a gym right next to the football field? He probably just wanted to go somewhere to avoid the guys. After all, if he went to a gym around here, you think he was trying to avoid his team? Why would he do that? Also swells and gives me an innocent smile that makes me think that maybe he's figured out a little more than he's letting on. It's just a hunch. If I'm being honest, Quinn is a hell of a lot more confusing. I don't get her deal at all. Is he just his friend? What's weird about her? Well, she puts Conrad into dating Helena and seems closer to the football team than he is. Just seems a little strange, man, that's all. Selwyn waves his hand up like he's trying to ask a question to a teacher. It causes Arthur to chuckle and lean down for Selwyn to whisper into his ear. Huh? You think? Selwyn thinks that maybe she was doing it to help him fit in. So he visited to help him with that? Selwyn nods and pulls out his phone, rapidly typing a message to the two of us. I'm still impressed by the speed at which he types, but Arthur treats it as something completely normal. It's a lot easier to become friends with someone if you get along with someone you're close to. I wouldn't have talked to you if Arthur didn't introduce us. That's fair. The two of them seemed close, regardless of what happened around them. Or maybe she was there to keep everyone away. That causes Selwyn and I squeeze to a halt as we both look at him in confusion. I just established that I thought the two of them were close, but also looks confident enough that I feel like I missed something. What do you mean? If you bring a pretty chick to a group of horny guys, they're going to want to hang around her. Maybe it was a way to keep focus off him, you know? You think she was a distraction? I wouldn't go that far. Maybe she just liked showing up, you know? He gives a wide shrug and leans back against the bench. Despite the considerable size of it, Selwyn and I were barely covering the same amount of area as he was alone. It was a good thing he didn't invite anyone else, though I bet they would have enjoyed coming here. Why didn't we invite the others? I tried, but they said nah. Apparently Papa Bear has work. Grumpy didn't want to come, and Lily has players, so it's just us for now. Selwyn leans against me with a big smile on his face as if he's trying to reassure me that I wouldn't be lonely. Also notices and wraps an arm around the two of us, twisting us together against him. Don't worry, the match is almost over and we can get this plan on the road. You still never told me your plan. He doesn't reply, opting to just flash me another one of his devilish grins that I know must have some level of mischief, especially since I know what the goal of all this is. For me, for me to feel more comfortable with him, so we might. Lily encouraged me to do it, and I don't even think Lily's entirely against it anymore. It seems to have gained some level of respect for Arthur that he didn't have before. Hell, even Lucas has nice things to say about him. Maybe having some fun wouldn't be an entirely bad idea after all. With the help of Arthur explaining how the game went alongside teasing me for constantly watching some of the guys who admittedly were pretty attractive, things went by quickly. Nathan noticed our group and gave us a wave. Well, I thought he gave it to our group, but he was staring directly at me while he did it. His face was pretty red while he did it. He must have been really exerting himself. Something about that interaction greatly amused Oscar, and he began to whisper stuff to Oscar that caused the two of them to giggle. I tried to get them to tell me what they were talking about, but they never spilled. I told you, the little guy was worried. And if I'm being honest, I kind of felt guilty about it too. Usually guys don't mind it when I bail, but I don't know you look real hurt, man. I was. Despite Austin's attempt at keeping a smiling face, there was something more for his eyes. There's guilt there, and I think I could see it mirrored in Nathan's face too. It was my fault too. I'd been really upset about it, but you did tell me it wasn't going to be anything serious. I was just hoping. I know, that's part of why I do it. Sorry, man. If I'm being honest, looking back on it now, I feel like a bit of an idiot. It should have been a fun night, but I've been so focused on something more. I think I was still grieving over Conrad and pushed that on you. Did he die around then? I'm so sorry. Yeah, it had been a month or two by that point. I gotten over it mostly, though I began to feel lonely after practice. I got the guys, but we're only so close. If you don't mind saying, I was curious about what happened between the two of you. While it was true that I really was curious about what happened, a part of me was curious about how this might end up applying to me if I did sleep with Oscar. The offer is tempting but a little worrying. Oscar just keeps his gaze on Nathan, giving him the opportunity to accept or decline it. For his part, Nathan doesn't look too uncomfortable with the question. His smile isn't as strong as before, but it still remains. Yeah, I don't mind, I guess, but can we go somewhere else? I need something to eat and relax my legs. Coach gets on our ass on Saturday. It was Coach would let me practice more on weekends. He always gets on my ass whenever I go in on Sunday. Damn, aren't you lucky? Nathan's about to head away when he nearly bumps into the last member of our group. Sarah has been pretty quiet ever since Nathan arrived, but he didn't look as awkward around him as he usually did. Then again, I didn't see how he was when he first came over. Maybe seeing him talking to Arthur and I made things feel less awkward for him than just meeting him out of the blue. Oh, sorry, this is Seven. He's a friend of ours. He's got selective mutism, so don't mind he doesn't reply to you. Oh yeah, no stress. I wouldn't want to make you uncomfortable. I haven't made you uncomfortable, have I? Despite also chuckling, it doesn't look like Nathan's kidding from his wide eyes, but Selwyn just gives him a smile. It's a little more stilted than usual, but it's still his hand, which Nathan shakes with great relief. It looks like he just dropped that load of heavyweights from how much he relaxed. He feels like Selwyn's trying to comfort him. Nathan's a little more jittery than I expected him to be. Maybe that's just because of Austin's presence, or maybe this is because of Conrad. I had planned to ask him more about Conrad, but it might be best to wait until he's more comfortable around us. Where should we go? Did you have anywhere in mind? Why don't we go to the bar we went to last night? It's like half restaurant, so we can get food there. Oh, you mean the Winter's Edge, right? The guys and I go there for lunch after practice on Fridays. We must have missed you then. We went there that night. I never really been to a bar before, even if this one was partially a restaurant. Never, huh? Not even with family? Like there are a lot of decent and affordable bars that do good food around every winter. You never went with them ever? Oh, well, my parents are usually out of town doing work once we were old enough to take care of ourselves. My brother helped out when I was younger. Everyone, even Sarah, looked shocked at that. Despite my best effort to keep my composure, I'm unable to stop blood from rushing to my face. Thankfully, Arthur notices my dilemma and steps in to save me. Well, there's a first time for everything. You had fun last night, right? Yeah, and don't worry about this place. It's really chill during the day. It's a common place for people to hang out after they finish class, even on weekends. Someone gives an enthusiastic nod and loops an arm into my own, dragging me away before I can get a single reply out. Nathan's a little shocked by the sudden shift, but also just follows along with a loud guffaw. They hadn't been kidding when they said this place was popular. I expected everyone to be on campus during the weekend, but this place is full of students. Still, there are empty tables, but much less than I expected. Despite Nathan dripping wet when he left the changing room, he managed to air dry on the way to our destination. Everyone's warmer climate is always something to appreciate, even if it means I've never seen snow before. He immediately looked around for any familiar faces, but his disappointment doesn't look like he spotted any. I think I would have liked to talk to some of them too, maybe see what they thought of Conrad as well. Also picked out one of the tables a little away from everyone else for Selwyn's sake. Even though he tried to play it off as not important, I could tell he was relieved. No wonder him and Lucas hit it off so well. Nathan and Arthur have gone off to get us some drinks, non-alcoholic, they assured me, and that left Selwyn alone with me. Did everything go well with you and Lucas last night? It seemed like the two of you got along pretty well. Selwyn gives me a massive nod and pulls out his phone to give me some details. It took a bit for him to get comfortable, and he's a little hard to talk to, but I liked it. He's cute, and I can tell he likes it quiet. I met his roommate too. He's a lot of fun. I was planning on going over there tonight. You're going over to his place? That sounds like a lot of fun. Does that mean you'll be heading off soon? He gives an enthusiastic nod, but realizes that might come across as too eager to leave, and clarifies with a message. Soon. I got a bit more time before I head off. I got a bit more time before I'll head off, but I'll keep in touch. I want to hear how things are going with you and Oscar. You two having a good chat? Oscar and Nathan sit down at our tables with a bunch of drinks. Most of them are just soda, but there's a coffee and a takeaway cup too, which Oscar gives to Selwyn. One of the glasses of soda was a pretty pink lemonade with one of those fancy umbrellas inside it. I didn't know who it was for, but then Nathan slides it over to me with a large grin, one that causes Oscar and Selwyn to giggle. I thought you might enjoy this. It's really good. He wanted to get you something nice, so I recommended the pink lemonade. They do a pretty good one here, trust me. Hey, Nathan pouts, but the atmosphere around them feels more playful than it was even just a few minutes ago. Just being around each other is definitely helping their awkward relationship. The rest of us just hung around and chatted for about 30 minutes. Nathan didn't seem too comfortable talking about everything in front of Selwyn, so we decided to wait until he left. It wasn't too long before that happened, though. Selwyn gave it goodbyes and gave me an especially long hug before Heading off, he made sure to send me a text to message him in case anything went wrong. I hope I won't. I hope I wouldn't need to use it. The moment someone left, Nathan suddenly felt a lot more stiff, and it isn't hard to figure out why. The two of them made. The two of them have been making a lot of progress, but this was a source of pain for Nathan for a long time. Even if Austin wants to make it right, and it really seems like he doesn't look too comfortable with it either. It looks like I'm going to have to take the initiative with this. He's surprisingly comfortable around me for some reason. I don't understand why, but if it helps. Are you doing okay? It takes a minute for Nathan to realize I'm talking to him, but he tries to give me as big of a smile as he can, though it's not as convincing as he probably hopes it is. Yeah, I'm good, just trying to figure out where to start. How about where we were that night? Those first 2 months about, man. Right, yeah, well, it was earlier this evening. How about where we were that night? Don't stress too much about it, man. Right, yeah, well, it was earlier this year, around January, maybe February. Yeah, somewhere around there. It was a little after we got back from Christmas break. Thought it would be fun to have a night out and blow off some steam. These words caused Nathan's shoulders to stiffen. Oscar notices too and wraps an arm around the guy, tugging him into a sideways hug. Tugging him into a sideways hug like he always does to me. I expected Nathan to resist and he does tense up further for a moment before letting himself relax. He takes a deep breath before tapping Oscar on the hand, to which he immediately lets go of Nathan. Better? Yeah, you did that when we first met. Did I? Those details are a little fuzzy. I just remember chatting you up at the bar not 2 months before that. Yeah, I come here with some of the guys from the team, but they quickly ended up chatting to some girls, and Ryan didn't come with us, so I didn't know what to do. Oh yeah, I remember that too. You looked super out of it and stuck to the wall, but you were super cute. I knew you'd be a hit with the guys if you weren't so shy. Well, that didn't work out. I still haven't really gotten laid since that night. I'm not made for one-night stands. I'm not sure I am either. It was a sudden admission, but it was a legitimate worry that I've been thinking about every time Austin misses doing something super casually. Nathan picks up on something immediately and sprints in Austin's direction, who just lifts his hand in submission, though it's clear he doesn't know what for. Did I mess something up? You better not hurt this guy. He's probably the sweetest guy I've met in a long time. I know Carter. That man is a little puppy to everyone. Wait, me or Carter? Carter's the captain. He's a really nice guy who always tries to keep up with everyone. Besides me, he was really hurt by what happened with Conrad. They weren't close, but it messed him up. Sounds like you got a lot of friends on the team, man. For a second, I thought your canine friends were gonna jump me. Not that I didn't deserve it. They wouldn't do that. Okay, Ryan might do that. Do you want to sock me one man? I can take it. I'm all muscle. Just try not to damage with the brain. Coach will kill me if my grade slipped. Nathan looks mortified at the suggestion and shakes his head in such a fervent panic that Lucas would be proud. What? No way, I couldn't hurt anyway. Hell, my tackling isn't very good either. That's why they put me on cornerback. Good at running, not hitting. Good at taking a hit too. Austin winks and Nathan gives him a playful shove, causing the three of us to break out into laughs. It's a surprisingly light mood for something so intimate between the two of them. Especially with how much this seemed to have affected Nathan for a long time. So also met you to give you some company. Well, I went over because he looked sad, yeah. But he was pretty cute and I thought we both could blow off some steam. Coach just railed into me hard that day. He didn't look much either. It had been our first practice after the tryouts for the vacant spot happened. Some newbie had replaced Conrad's position, and I had been pretty upset. The guys tried to cheer me up, but they didn't really get it. Our team was a little strange. Everyone is pretty nice to each other for the most part, but there's a bit of distance between the gay guys and the rest of the team. They're not prejudiced, it's ignorant. It's hard for them to relate to you. Yeah, Ryan had offered to spend Christmas at my place to cheer me up, but I couldn't do that to him. Plus, I had my family to take care of me. When did Helena, you know, it was December, I'm pretty sure. Right before Christmas break, it was a pretty big deal. Some people guess that maybe the timing had something to do with it, but no one found anything. Can we not talk about that now? This is already a lot to handle. Sorry, man, I didn't mean to bring the mood down. Lower than it already is, at least. We took a short break to refresh our drinks and give Nathan a break. We also got some food and had pleasant distraction over some surprisingly good fish that also recommended. We must order fish everywhere if he's recommendations for every place we're going to go. I also just got a simple pasta while I just wanted some simple fries and some chicken nuggets. Also teased me pretty relentlessly over getting some chicken nuggets, though he always followed it up with a playful comment about how cute it was. Even Nathan agreed. It was only served to make me more flustered. By the time we were done with our meal, the mood was a lot brighter than it had been just 30 minutes ago. The beginnings of Nathan's downer mood had disappeared, and he looks like he's in a happy mood once more. People have been slowly trickling in over the course of our stay, but there's still enough space that we can comfortably have our discussion with some privacy, which I can tell Nathan appreciates from the way he glances around. Okay, I think I can keep going. You sure? Yeah, I'm good. It just feels silly talking about it now, you know? Like Oscar's right here. We've been chilling. It just puts everything in perspective. You don't regret it? It's complicated, but I guess not. He was really honest with me about it being just for that night, but he was really sweet. I just was lonely and wanted something more. Because Conrad had just passed, right? Yeah, he's been pretty sad at that party, and I'd gone to cheer him up, give him a smile, and a fun night, you know. Thought we could use it. It was fun too, everything was so effortless. There wasn't any awkwardness like some of the guys on the team. It reminded me a lot of hanging out with Conrad. So after we had some fun and I never heard back from him, the implication was loud and clear. Nathan had been projecting Conrad onto Oscar and hoped he'd fulfill the role of someone who just left his life forever, but that isn't what Oscar wanted. Despite trying to keep things light, I could see this weighing down on him. He's been avoiding staring at Nathan and only meeting my eyes to make sure I was doing okay. Even though I was not involved in this and I wouldn't have any emotional stake as to what happened between them, he's still taking the effort to make sure that I'm doing okay. It's nice though, it's a little embarrassing to think that people always think I'm the one who needs to be comforted, though I haven't given them much reassurance that I'm the most emotionally stable person. I wonder if that's why Lucas and I get along so well, because Lucas is so sure of himself. I don't know how he does it, but that guy is just so unashamedly himself, and everyone respects that. Everyone seems to have their act together, but I'm just the one who always needs to be taken care of. Man, I'm a mess. Wallace, are you okay? Now both Austin and Nathan are looking worried. If anything, Nathan looks more upset by my zoning out than retelling the story, and Austin's not much better. You good? Yeah, sorry, I just got lost in my head there. You can stop if you want. I think I can get it over it. No, I want to know. Did the two of you have a good time? I sure hope. Enough of a silly thing to say that it causes to say that it causes all of us to laugh, also being the loudest through. Isn't far behind. People who are sitting nearby give us a glance, but they don't look annoyed. If anything, it fits the upbeat atmosphere. I gotten pretty distracted that I never realized just how filled up this place has gotten, and there doesn't look to be many people drinking. Though that makes sense considering it's only a couple hours after lunch. A part of me is worried that Nathan might get uncomfortable with the steadily growing patrons, but if anything, he looks more comfortable now than ever. Also looks to be absorbing the atmosphere just as much, if not more. It was pretty great, awesome. Also really knows what he was doing. I don't really want to get into any details, but I'm guessing you're asking because you're considering having a go? What? No stress and go for it. It seems like the two of you are pretty good friends from the look of you. So I doubt Oscar's going to bail like he did on me, right? Oscar tries to do as intimidating of a stare as Nathan tries to do as intimidating of a stare as he can, and to his credit, it does look authentic. I don't doubt for a second that he tried to get into a fight if Oscar did a pump and dump on me. Oscar lifts his hands up to try and placate Nathan, but he doesn't look offended. In fact, he has a serious look in his eyes that I've only seen a few times. I wouldn't hurt him, trust me. I promise I never go back on those. He'll have a fun time. We'll still be friends the next day, no stress. Good, you better. Right, I never decided on anything. That catches Nathan off guard. He nearly slips off his chair, causing Oscar to fall into a fit of snickers. Nathan quickly adjusts himself, though he looks very flustered for a reason I don't quite understand. Sorry, I just assumed that you wanted to. I don't know yet. I'm considering that. I just never had one night stand before. Feels a little wrong. I get what you mean. I think expectations mean a lot. I went in with the wrong ones and got hurt. I think as long as you go into it just looking for a fun time, it's just doing something fun with a friend, right? I guess I never really thought of it that way. It's just casual fun, man. Don't think too hard about it. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to anyway. It's just an offer. He's really meant it. I could tell. Nathan looks just as satisfied as he gives me a big smile, though his grows even larger, but I will turn one of my own. Also gives him a wiggle of his eyebrows and nudges him, to which they get into a small scuffle alongside some whispering I can't hear. With that discussion out of the way, I feel like I have a better understanding of what happened between Nathan and Oscar. It sounded like a case of unfortunate timing. I wonder if things would have just been a casual. I wonder if things would have been been a usual hookup if nothing happened to Conrad. Then again, it sounds like the hookup might not have happened at all if Conrad was still around. We spent another hour just talking, though it was mostly Oscar and Conrad chatting sports. They tried their best to keep me involved, and I followed along enough to get the gist of what they were saying, but I was more lost than not. Though we did end up changing over to the topic of music after I learned that Nathan could play guitar. I'd always wanted to see someone play in real life, but everyone I knew who played an instrument went for something more formal. He offered to show me some time, and Oscar immediately accepted for the two of us. But as the time gets closer to 3, I can tell that Nathan's getting a little antsy to leave. He's been checking his phone more frequently, and Oscar's been noticing it as well. Need to head off soon? You're looking a little jumpy there, man. Yeah, sorry, just had some plans with the guys soon. We always go out on Saturdays as a group. Ryan, Carter, Wolf, and whoever Wolf decides to rope into it. After what happened between us, I told Ryan about how lonely I'd been feeling with Conrad gone. He told Carter and they made a plan to keep me up. So every Saturday we go out to have fun, though it's never partying. Carter's rules. Woo. Yeah, but that's Carter for you. He's always a bit of a stick in the mud, but he's a good guy. There's a reason we made him team captain after all. I'm glad you have good friends to take care of you. It sounds like you have some pretty good ones too. I'd love to meet the rest of them sometime, but I should really head off. He starts to get up but hesitates, his brow furrowing. He stays there and ponders for a few moments. I'm about to ask him what's wrong, but he replies before I can. Do you think if Helena had other friends, would she have done what she did? I thought she did have pretty close friends. But then why did she do it? Why would she hurt them? Howard was a good guy, and while I didn't know Quinn too much, she was always nice to him. She was always nice to me too. I don't know. The words are left hanging there as the mood plummets. I can tell that Arthur is considering saying something, but he stops when Arthur slides out of his head, leaning over to place a hand on my shoulder. Sorry, that wasn't fair. I've gotten over it for the most part, I swear. A part of me just wishes we had more answers, you know? I wish I knew what was going on through her. Or what was going on through her head. If we find anything, I'll let you know. You really don't have to, but I know you will. You're a good guy, Wallace. I know Conrad would have liked you. You think? Of course, he would have. I always tell you this, but you never listen, man. You're a really great guy. One of the big guys said, I'll catch you two later. Don't be a stranger. Either of you. Thanks also for coming to talk. It means a lot. There's no stress, man, for what it's worth. I really am sorry. I can promise you, I don't want to hurt people. Wallace will be safe with me. I know you won't. I'd always imagine you as some asshole fuckboy who just thought with his dick. You're not the only one, but I think you're a pretty good guy. So keep it to us, both of you. I'll never turn down new friends. Nathan gives us a final wave before heading out the door. The two of us are left alone at the table, though it's hard to say we're truly alone with all the people around. I never had a problem with crowds, not like Lucas does anyway, but there's a limit of how much I want to spend somewhere, with us getting closer and closer to the evening more Stewart's are filling in. Thankfully, Arthur seems to notice my dilemma and comes to my rescue. You want to get out of here? You're looking a little stressed. If you wouldn't mind, it's getting a bit crowded. Yeah, let's get out of here, come on. He wastes no time scooping me out of the chair, not considering for a second that everyone is going to stare. He lifts me to my feet, but keeps his arm around my neck. My face is flustered mess that peeks through my fur as he guides me out of the bar. He's radiating enough confidence for the both of us that people only give us a passing glance. We race out of the bar and down one of the paths, dodging out of the way of students and laughing the whole time. It's such a silly moment that reminds me of Marcus dragging me along after he convinced me to prank one of his friends. Eventually we'll arrive at the courtyard and take a break where there isn't as many students. I remember this from when he took me to the pool Wednesday, though similar to the rest of the campus, it's still bustling with students. No wonder also prefers going to that bar. It's only a short distance away from the pools. I can imagine he probably goes right there after his practice sessions, whether he's supposed to be at them or not. It's not like he's ever worried about smelling like chlorine. Anyway, it's part of his charm, I suppose. Something unabashedly him. Much better out here, ain't it? I thought you liked crowds. I do, but you were getting a little jittery. We can't have that. The mission today was to give you a fun day out. I thought the mission was to cheer Nathan up. That was just a bonus, man. You've been so focused on this diary mess that you've been letting it get to your head, so today is a break just for you. I didn't realize you were so worried about me. I think everyone's worried, man. Papa Bear called me last night and told me to take care of you. I didn't realize I was stressing everyone out. I didn't mean to. Hey man, stop it. He wraps an arm around my neck in a familiar pose and drags us down the grass below us. We're matching most of the other students around who are sitting around on the grass and benches hanging out with their friends. It's our job to worry, but it's your job to get cheered up. Is it working? Yeah, it's working. That's the point to me. That's the point to me. On to the next one. The next one. Are you still worried about the whole Nathan thing? That looked to really mess you up. I kind of regret trying to find out about Conrad if I knew it was going to make things weird, but then you and Nathan wouldn't have made up. Yeah, you're right. I'm glad I did that. I never meant to hurt anyone. I always let them know it was casual and nothing more. Some people just get the wrong idea. Don't you think that's a little unfair? What? That I sleep around? Plenty of people do it. We're in college, man. It's a time for fun, you know? Not that you don't just hook up with them. You completely lock them out. Nathan said you wouldn't even talk to him. Why didn't you just explain what happened? I also didn't answer that, and for a moment I thought I could see him getting upset. His eyes gleamed with hurt and a little bit of anger, but it's only there for a moment before it fades away. I don't want to deal with all that, okay? But Asa, Wallace, please, I don't want to deal with it. That was enough to shut down the whole conversation. We sat there in silence, watching the groups in front of us laughing together or staring at large bags of food. It's enough that made the guilt build up in my chest about trying to force that out of Oscar. Someone warned me that he didn't like to think about things that made him upset. That's not a healthy way to view things. When I tried to ignore everything after, when I tried bottling things up, it didn't work too well. It just isolated myself and got worse. I don't want to see Oscar like that, but pushing him like this clearly isn't helping. It's just going to make him push me away, and neither of us wants that. Oscar's been mulling around in his own head as he watches another group. This one has a child with him. The mother looks young, but she looks so happy to be holding him. Shit, man, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought the mood down like that. No, it was my fault. I brought it up. There's a part of me that hopes that Oscar would disagree and that I had a point about what he was doing, but he didn't say anything more. It was expected but I wish he did all the same. Back dragging me along with him until we were both laying in the grass and staring up at the blue autumn sky. This is pretty nice, though. I don't relax often. Instead, he tightens his arm around me and falls down onto his back, dragging me along with him until we're both laying in the grass and staring up at the blue autumn sky. This is pretty nice. I don't relax often. Really? Yeah, most of my time is filled with swimming, classes, and partying. Maybe I go to the gym if I had some free time, but I don't really do anything else, you know? What about your hobbies? Is swimming not a hobby? Damn, I guess I've been doing it wrong all these years. I guess that's true. I just thought swimming was your job, but how much do you do it? I forgot you were going into economics. Nah, I wouldn't want to do swimming for a job. It's just what I do. But that didn't sound entirely honest. He said it with conviction. It doesn't sound like he's lying, but he feels uncomfortable as he says it. I should change the subject. We've had enough awkward talks already. It's like Oscar said, today was supposed to be for fun. My brother and I used to do this a lot. He loved taking naps. He used to get into trouble for it all the time. Sounds like a guy who knows how to enjoy himself. Really? Everyone always used to say he was wasting his time. No one ever praised him for it. Mom used to get on his butt for it all the time. If he enjoyed it, it couldn't have been a waste of time, right? Oh, I get it. So it's like you were swimming. You're doing it so much because you enjoy it. So it's not overdoing it. You're just indulging in what you love. I thought I was going to get a resounding confirmation from him, but he just stares up at the sky. For a moment I thought he didn't hear me, but he gives me a response eventually. Sure. We spent the rest of our day messing around campus. Also decides to give me a full tour of both the main and east campuses. I never realized just how many areas there were. He even showed me where club stalls would be opening up next week in case I wanted to do that. Not that I had any in mind, but it might be something fun to do in the future. By the time we explored everywhere, the sun had started to set. It wouldn't reach the horizon until 6, but that was our cue to head back. He considered taking me swimming again, but he knew that coats would be roaming around at this time, and it wasn't worth the hassle. Now we're walking back towards my apartment from the main campus. I also didn't want to head back to the flat yet, and it's rather obvious as to why. I still haven't decided if I was going to do anything about it, and he wasn't pushing me or even asking me if I wanted to. He's just been letting me take the lead. It's sweet that he isn't pressuring me, but the whole thing is a little overwhelming. I know it's stupid, and also even said that it didn't have to be anything more than what I wanted. You doing good there, man? It looks like Oscar and Nathan are starting to get along better now, to the point that they were even talking about sports. So seems like talking, just talking and explaining your side of the whole situation can help in clearing things out, and just you understand each other more now, and both of them apologized. So I think Nathan was just a little innocent when it comes to that, sex, and he thought sex was like kind of like a relationship, at least somebody expressing their feelings to you, but not everybody is like that. Oscar certainly isn't. Sex is kind of like just something that you do for fun and for pleasure. It's not about expressing your feelings to somebody. So, but again, I think Oscar himself said that he explained to Nathan that it was just nothing serious. Anyway, I think there's both of them were kind of at fault for the whole thing. But again, I think Nathan just wasn't really well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe Nathan thought it was a little, it has maybe also had some feelings for him, but it wasn't major. He probably thought also, had some feelings for him, even though it wasn't serious. While it wasn't serious, he also did have some feelings for him. At least that's what I think Nathan thought. That he also had some feelings for him, even though it wasn't serious. But anyway, I don't know how much Oscar told Nathan. Maybe he didn't explain it enough. But anyway, so certainly when they were in the football field last time, when they first met Nathan, the football players, and Nathan talked to Oscar about, and Nathan told Wallace that Oscar didn't contact all the guys he went to bed with, and he blocked them. That really hurt Nathan, and Oscar clearly didn't want to do any stuff with his friends. He only wanted to do stuff with people he didn't know, because he didn't want to make things awkward with his friends. So he clearly only did stuff with those he wasn't friends with, people he didn't know, and he would block people because he didn't want to deal with the aftermath of all that. So again, I don't think it was right for him to block people. And that's is still worrying Wallace, because he thinks Arthur might do that too to him. Though Arthur made it clear that he wouldn't do that to him because they're friends, and plus there's something special about Wallace. Well, there's something special that he sees in Wallace, and he wouldn't do that to Wallace. So I believe Oscar. I do. So we'll continue with Violet Memoir next time. Thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye. Something about that interaction greatly amused Oscar. He began to whisper stuff to Oscar that caused the two of them to giggle. I tried to get them to tell me what they were talking about, but they never replied. I meant to know Selwyn, or also to Selwyn, I think. Selwyn also. The best I got was catching Selwyn's phone at one point, typing out something about something being very cute, but I wasn't able to get a good look before he tilted his phone away. Soon enough, a large tiger blows a whistle and tells that practice is over. There are a few groans on the bleachers as people got up to leave. Most of them team scatters to the nearby changing rooms, though some stick around to talk. Also guides us closer as and we waited for Nathan's exit. We thankfully didn't have to wait too long, as a still dripping wet lizard exits the changing room alongside the other familiar face I noticed. The moment he saw us, he raised off his head and jogged towards us. His remaining friends all give us friendly smiles, except for the weasel, who just gave us a curious tilt before wandering off. He looked significantly better than the first time he jogged over to me. He still looks a little uncomfortable with his eyes darted to Austin, but his soft expression is a stark contrast to the glare he gave him yesterday. What are you guys doing here? Do you need something else? The little guy here was just worried about you, so I thought we'd come here and cheer you up. You were worried about me? His reply is muffled by sputtering, and he looks completely knocked off his game. He had been chillaxed a moment ago, but now his face is flushing red and his eyes are darting between Arthur and me at lightning speed. Wait, you wanted to come cheer me up? Why?